trip to Tanzania, I learned a lot about myself and how to overcome some fears I had. I learned how to communicate without words and how to include everyone as well. I was surprised at how happy all the children were, no matter the circumstances, and I was also surprised at how people live, cook, learn, and even socialize. Overall, I discovered a great amount about myself, others, and simple tasks or things I use every day I didn't even know I took for granted, like water, a variety of food, a kitchen, sinks, and even little toys I had while growing up. I think I have better developed my character and learned so much more about others than I ever thought I would. Nevertheless, I'm extremely glad I had the opportunity to go on this trip with these amazing people.
One thing I learned on my trip was to be more open. Being more open really made the trip more of an experience. For example, when my host asked me to try new food, he told me to be more open, so I tried it. It was not the best, but it was not as bad as I thought it would be. He told me it was a traditional food that they ate every day. To me, it was amazing to be in with them. It was a magical experience.
On my trip to Tanzania, I learned to engage with students there. Also, how to say things not right away when I have something stray from my head. Because people there have history that restrain them. So I will try to say words that not offend them. The thing that surprised me was weather. It was almost the same weather as the one in my hometown. The environment was pretty good thanks to their warm welcome that people there gave us. People are helpful and being really nice to us. For example, students in Tumani Junior School just came to hug us when we got into their campus. All in all, it was a pretty nice trip.
In Tanzania, I truly realized how fortunate I am to be living the life I have. I showed my host family pictures of my house, friends, vacations, and others. The first thing my host mom said about them was that my house looks like a church, and how beautiful my friends and I were. I thought that yes, my house is nice, but just average in comparison to my fellow peers. However, in their eyes, it was totally different. I know that in America, and more specifically at Gould, we are very privileged. After spending time in Tanzania, I feel even more lucky and so appreciative for all the opportunities I have. My host was so bright and deserves to succeed in all aspects of life. It is such an interesting concept that one person can have more than another just because of where they're born. I had heard about this idea previously, however, I am glad that I could really learn this through my experience in Tanzania.
I learned a lot from my Tanzania 4-point trip. One of the things I learned was how to be open to a new culture and new experiences. A lot of things are very different between Tanzania, America, and China. For example, they use squat toilets, they only have basket shower, they only have a road that is made by dirt. They always eat rice, beans, or potatoes, and a lot of other things are different too. At first, I wasn't very used to those things. I was a little bit shy. However, after a while, I realized I need to be more open. It went very well. I tried to do a lot of new things I wouldn't do in my country. I learned a lot about Tanzania culture and learned the importance of being open. The thing that surprised me the most was the difference between their real life and what I thought it would be. A lot of things surprised me. First, their English is really good. I actually asked my hosts a lot of questions about spelling when they were working with our journals together, and they knew the answers. I was also surprised when I found that my host family had a TV, laptop, and smartphones. My experience in Tanzania was great and I really enjoyed it.
I learned the culture of Tanzania. I learned about how they live their lives. I learned about their language and how to speak Swahili, such as mambo means how are you and sante means thank you. I learned about how they study at school and what can they play for fun during their rest time. I also learned about their food and how to make their food. For example, my host told me how to make the meal called ugali.
It was made by maize flour and cooked with water. People usually eat it with meat and vegetable by hands. Even though it was not that tasty, I still appreciate it. I was surprised by their lifestyle. Even though they were living in a hard situation, they were still happy. I was also surprised by the smile of the too many kids. They also smiled at me, so I was touched by their smiles.
During my Tanzania experience, I have learned how languages aren't barriers for religious beliefs, special events, and other cultural similarities. When I met my host, I quickly realized how well he spoke English. Then I went to church with my host, and he believed in Jesus Christ. This was very shocking because I was expecting the culture to be completely different from the one I am accustomed to, but it wasn't. They celebrate birthdays, pray before going to bed, and they honor their mother and father. The people of Karatu strive to be better through education, just like we do in America. It was amazing to see how similar we really are.
Safari imezidi kuwa ngumu kwangu, wewe ndiwe tumaini langu.